As educators, there are many innovative ways to reach our youth to resolve difficult situations and mounting grief in their daily lives. Through effective professional development, the Grief Resource Network has identified a collection of best practices that staff can use to engage students and help deal with emotional struggle in such a way that is both effective and puts children at ease. Some of these effective strategies come in the form of classroom activities, forms of personal expression, group counseling, creative projects, and sound management of resources at our schools. The following is a collection of some of these successes in our schools, which we hope will inspire staff to be innovative in how we help our children through the worst and best times of their lives. At school number 23, teacher Diane Quitt is putting what she learned in a grief resource workshop to good use in her classroom, nurturing her students' creative expression and getting them thinking about their emotions.
How can body training help us through the loss of someone special? Does anyone have an answer for that? Remember what we did last week? We did some body tracing. And how can that help us with a loss of someone special? Sam?
It will make you never forget about the person that died.
It helps you not forget about that person. We put special places on our body, our feelings. We used colors, and we colored parts of our body so that we would be able to talk about it today. Kevin? And how many of you agree about a picture? That helps you remember that person in a nice way.
As part of an art exercise, second grade students are preparing to make body tracings on construction paper. Though this may seem like a simple task, these tracings are just one part of a student exercise that will soon have the class expressing their feelings about grief and loss. The tracing exercise begins with a brief class discussion facilitated by Ms. Quitt, where students consider how feelings are often experienced as physical sensations in their bodies. They also evaluate colors, determining which evoke happy or sad emotions. Students then trace outlines of one another on construction paper. Once the outline was complete, second graders looked deep within themselves, using their own stories and experiences to fill in certain parts of the tracing with drawings based on their emotion. Students then explained their work and later colored smaller human outlines representative of a personal loss. This activity is effective both with children of all ages and adults. At Jefferson High School, a group of students in Ms. Bianchi's class have not only been using their creative writing skills as food for thought, but also therapy for their soul and mind. Each year, Jefferson High School students prepare for a poetry slam, where they showcase their best work for the school community. Behind closed doors, however, these students meet regularly throughout the school year, using their poetry as an outlet for the pain they live with every day.
The next one is called Eyes Drop Blood. It refers to a vision in the community. Eyes drop blood, and the town now will flood. When the sun comes out and the town's dried up, all is red like the flag from the bull. Target to the enemy, weak beyond all doubt. Drop, drip, drop, then drip. One falls down, puncture bleeds. My feelings are the last thing to start. Mama's going insane, she can't take the pain or the screams and tears and lost memories. Damn, should I blame Adam and Eve? Screams are viewed as I walk down the street, an old woman lay on the ground of a heart attack of old age. But as I proceed, it's smooth, young me, almost 16. Throat cut, eyes closed, face wet. The kid's dead. Society strikes again. Colors flash, corners are ran. Our new sisters stand. And here we stand or sit or lay or die or go bye. I'm sick and ill, falling on my knees every time that somebody in the community dies. It has to cry. No more like a young person dies because of being hurt or just sitting in the car waiting to be out. I'm scared, and I don't think that it's fair that when I walk home from work, I gotta carry a pocket knife. Another life, another life. I pray to God nothing else happens to my family. Let our lungs breathe our breath instead of one pump and two breaths from somebody else's lips. Murders in all corners, waste of thighs, eyes, love and tribe and useful minds. Dark without no light, low without no height, our streets full of fright. By tomorrow, I could be staring at my body as I lay in a puddle on the concrete, eyes open wide. Deny, deny, deny. That's how we all sleep at night.
Jefferson students discuss all facets of their creative work in special group sessions. These sessions not only aid the creative process, but allow students to discuss topics ranging from life to death, happiness to sadness, fear to joy, and frustration to personal tribulation. The group explores the various catalysts behind the feelings they are expressing. Students in the group offer one another support, comments, and most importantly, lend an understanding ear to their fellow students in their time of need.
I wrote it in 2001 after my brother had died January 2nd. He died due to gunshots on Avenue A early in the morning. And I just remember like trying to get some sleep the following year and just like thinking about violence and how, it hurt. I was crying the whole night, and I'm like, violence, it's not a game.
My anniversary was coming up, my brother's anniversary was coming up. And so I didn't really write poems, I write like songs and stuff like that. And so when I did it, I finally like understood like why people really did it. Like it really got to my heart and it really like hit me in a place that, like it really hit me. And then like when I was supposed to present it to Miss Bianchi, and she read it, and she came back to me, and she told me that she understood it and everything, and that really hit me because I didn't really think no one would understand it except for me.
I came to school, just like he said, came to school and like kind of put up a little front, like everything was okay, but then I just started talking to people. I talked to my friends or my teachers and things like that, and then I used to write poems. I did write poems. It wasn't really serious. But then after that incident that happened last month, that would encourage me to write poems even more and try to get my way out.
For the most part, I'm not a type of person that likes to talk about stuff. I like to keep to myself, but my poems is a way for me to say how I feel without directly saying, I'm hurting inside. My poems, you can hear my poems talk about cutting and talking about, not feeling loved, but I'm not outright saying, at home things is bad. So I could talk about make myself feel better by getting this out there. Like, I express myself, but not having to worry, I'm telling people my business. So it kind of helps the whole grieving process a little.
Students find the experience to be therapeutic and uplifting as they realize that they are not alone in dealing with a myriad of complex realities in their daily lives. As students grow older, there is considerable pressure for social acceptance, especially at school. Students often attempt to present a face of normalcy, but inside still need the support of others to overcome the painful void of grief and loss. At Edison Technical and Occupational Center, a group of students gather in a weekly morning support group with counselor Carol Marin and teachers Rosemary Tischer and Lyndon Mitchell. This particular session starts the same way they have all year as students and staff share stories ranging from how their week is progressing to ideas about how they choose to remember loved ones they have lost. Though there is always a planned topic for each session, this part of their meeting could take the whole time as students are encouraged to keep sharing until they have fully aired their concerns or ideas. After the discussion, teacher Rosemary Tischer explains that she has brought in a book to share with the group based on a popular country hit, I Hope You Dance, by Leanne Womack. The group listens to the song and then reads through each line, taking turns deciphering what each line means to them. While trying to grasp the overall concept for the song, the group debates its meaning through lively discussion and sharing of personal stories that relate to each line. The group ultimately arrives at a consensus that the song is about taking chances in life an important life lesson, especially for those that are often constrained by emotions stemming from loss.
We have been very blessed here at Edison. We've had a grief group for probably the past 11 years. We knew that a lot of students had a number of grief issues going on. And when I talked to them and counsel them over their grades, I would soon learn that there was a loss issue behind all the problems that they were having in class. We'll have someone come to us freshman year, like Carolyn, when her mother died. And she was very quiet, didn't want to speak much, no emotion. She had shut down emotionally, and it has been such a blessing to watch her grow and mature and to, get beyond her grief issues. And not that we pushed her, but we were there every step of the way. Here in this district, a lot of times it's a single-headed household, so when your mom dies, you not only lose your mom, but you lose your family and your major support systems. And that has another whole level of issues that, again, the group has been here for them to be able to talk about that and share about that.
Author Oscar Wilde once wrote that man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. In this day and age, this idea of humans wearing masks to hide their true emotions is reality for many. At school number 20, students have been constructing masks with district social worker Greta Davis. The activity is both fun and engaging for students and is like any other art project on the surface. However, mask making is intended to give greater understanding of how people hide their true feelings and reactions about life-changing events. This particular day, the class begins by discussing different forms of human emotion and reading a poem about self-esteem.
Okay, and what we've started to work on was our mask making project. And we talked about what the mask represents. And some of what we talked about was a facade, when we use a mask to kind of disguise who we really are or how we're really feeling. And you've all done a beautiful job of starting to create your mask. And what we're going to do throughout today is to add a little finishing touches to the project. But first I'd like to talk a little bit about feelings. That we all have a wide range of different feelings, and then I brought my feelings frogs to kind of demonstrate those different feelings. And what I thought we would do is we'll share a little bit about what do we tend to do? How do we express our feelings? What are some ways we express our feelings to others? Anybody can think of ways that you express if you're upset? How do you express feeling upset, Ariel?
I talk to somebody about it.
Okay, that's a very good way of expressing a feeling of being upset or being angry. What about when you're happy? What do you do, Rosalie, when you're really happy? I know that Rosalie, she's doing it now. She's doing a lot of smiling. How do you demonstrate, Louis, when you're happy? What do you remember? Oh, you go crazy. What does that mean? Is it jumping and being excited? Oh, great. And we have a wide range of feelings and emotions, just like represented here by the various frogs. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little exercise. And it's an I am poem that I'm going to share with each of you. And we're going to read it together before we start on our mask.
Through the poem, students learn that it is normal to doubt yourself from time to time and to not like every aspect about you. This feeling often leaves most people embarrassed, insecure, or ashamed, developing a need to mask themselves around others.
For various reasons, we erect masks. And when I say erect, we just put them up. And for various things, just like we have here with our feeling frogs. If we're feeling really angry, we may not feel like we can express that feeling of anger, so we may try to mask it with what? Maybe a big smile, or we may try to stuff our feelings. So instead of stuffing them, we're going to look for ways of expressing them in healthy manners. So this mask is something that represents when we're not authentically ourselves. And we kind of talked about that, the facades and putting on a front. And so we're going to spend a little time now finishing up our mask, and then we're going to talk about this whole process of dealing with our feelings and expressing them in healthy ways.
After a very productive discussion, students begin putting the finishing touches on masks they have been building from paper by adding feathers, sequins, paint, and other adornments. Once the students have fully constructed their masks, they present their work to the rest of the group and explain the emotion or feeling behind their mask. With a better understanding of how our use of masks can often be a hindrance to getting the help and support we all need, these students will have an easier time in the future expressing their true feelings to others.
I am me, and I am okay. Wonderful, because you're all okay. You're better than okay. You're great.
At Rochester's East High School, staff cannot anticipate a tragic event. But through careful planning, East High staff has developed a plan for delivering grief and loss services to its student body in reaction to most traumatic occurrences at school or in the community. On hearing of a loss of a student or staff person, the first step is not engaging students like one may think. The principal must take care with this information and verify that a loss is not a mere rumor, but grounded in fact. This is done by contacting police enforcement agencies to verify any information concerning a student loss through the school's security officer and await confirmation of its accuracy. Once word is received back from police, a brief staff meeting of the principal, school security, the lead counselor, vice principal, and any other staff directly involved with a student is held in the school's main office. The group discusses a brief plan for the day's events, taking care to consider what is best for the student body as a whole. The vice principal calls a second meeting, this time with the school's guidance staff, to divulge any pertinent information and discuss more plans for various levels of student support and grief counseling. Once all preparations are set into motion at the school, the principal addresses the student body on the school's public address system, informing them of the loss to the school family and letting everyone in the building know that support is available to them should they desire it. Some of the many areas of support currently in the East High School plan are a student memory wall. Through the use of the wall, students can leave messages or memories to help with their grieving. During this time, counseling staff is also present to talk with students one-on-one or in small groups to discuss any feelings they may have. Student Support Center. At the Student Support Center, students can gather in smaller groups with a member of the school's counseling staff to discuss their feelings of grieving and loss. Therapy Dog. Probably the most unique form of therapy at the school comes from special visits from the school's therapy dog. Pets are known to provide comfort to humans that they cannot receive from another person, and the students seem to appreciate having a furry friend around when they are feeling extreme feelings of grief. One of the best ways for staff to learn about new, effective, and engaging forms of grief and loss support is through the use of professional development. As humans, we must acknowledge that we don't always have all the answers. Through shared best practices of all staff across the district, we can build a vital list of activities and resource tools that will ensure that all staff provide the best care they can for students. At professional development sessions, staff are exposed to a myriad of new ideas and concepts that can add a great deal of depth to the services that are provided at each building. Over 13 years later, the Rochester Board of Education continues its vow to provide resources to our grieving youth and is fully supported by Dr. Manuel Rivera, Superintendent of Rochester City Schools, who is committed to providing the education our children need and the level of support our students deserve.
The success of a school district is dependent first and foremost on the quality of its educational program. Here in the Rochester City School District, we recognize that creating a culture of caring and emotional support for students is also crucial to academic success. In 1994, the district established the Grief Resource Network. School staff members volunteered to be trained in understanding the language of grief, helping students cope with loss, and turning their emotional struggles into opportunities for growth. This valuable network of staff effectively assists our students in dealing with grief and loss in healthy ways. That in turn allows those students to maintain their focus on learning. The positive support provided to our students at their most troubled times is valuable beyond measure as we foster their social, emotional, and academic growth each day.
In the morning when I get up, to the closing of the day, and when I'm sleeping, I choose peace. I choose love. I choose joy. I choose peace. I will not hurt you with my hands. I love you. I need you to survive. I will not hurt you with my words. I love you. I need you to survive. You are